All right, this will be a quick one. So I want to talk about a supplement that improves your skin, it clears your skin, it increases skin moisture, reduces transepidermal water loss, and it also improves your mental health. And that supplement is omega-3. There are multiple supplements that do fit into those categories that do give you those benefits, but this is probably arguably one of the most powerful ones. So I have mentioned this study in the past, but basically it's a randomized controlled trial, which is, the best study design. They took 2 grams of long chain omega-3s, which is around the ideal dose, because the ideal dose is around 2 to 3 grams. And yeah, the study basically used the ideal dose if you want benefits when it comes to the skin, basically. And the study was done in South Korea. It lasted 10 weeks, and the study had 45 participants. And like I said, they used 2 grams of long-chain omega-3s, EPA, and DHA. And in this study, as you can tell from the results in acne count, the omega-3 group went from 10.1 to 5.8. So that's roughly around 40% decrease in acne count, basically, their assessment. The control group didn't change. They had basically the same acne count score, which is a sign of good study design. The non-inflammatory acne lesions, they decreased from 23 to around 18.9, which I think is roughly around 20%. But in my opinion, the most important part is the inflammatory acne lesions. And that's because acne is mainly an inflammatory problem. It's the inflammation that gives rise to basically the lipid peroxidation that then cascades into everything that goes into how acne is formed. Basically, the lipid peroxidation caused by the inflammation blocks the pores and it causes acne eventually in the chain. And so, so you have to reduce inflammation both systemically and topically. And in this study, you can tell the control group didn't change, which is, like I said, a good sign. In neither of the groups, the control group changed. Meanwhile, the treatment group, especially the omega-3 one, which is the one we're looking at, they consistently decrease in inflammatory lesions, in non-inflammatory lesions, in acne severity because it's connected to inflammation, and in their subjective assessment as well. Around 40% decrease in inflammatory lesions, which means that it does have an anti-inflammatory benefit. So I think everyone should take omega-3 supplements, unless you're eating fish, for example, 2 to 3 times a week, something like that. But I do think omega-3 supplementation is more intelligent because with fish, you do run the risk of heavy metal contamination. But with supplements, it's actually much easier to purify them. Now, you do have to choose the right brands. If you join my school community, for example, I actually show you in one of the posts which brands you should buy of omega-3s. So I have a post saying which brands you should buy because I already did the research. I already know which ones have the right certificates and which ones basically have 0 heavy metal contamination. So if you want to know which brands you should buy and you don't want to do the research yourself, you can join the school community. It's the first link in the comment, by the way. And yeah, if you know which brands to buy, then you can avoid the heavy metal contamination problem, which is a problem with fish. Fish can be contaminated with mercury, for example, or other heavy metals. And yeah, it's easier to control if you rely on supplementation rather than fish intake. And you would think that's a good enough reason to supplement, which it is, but it also has benefits for depression. So for example, in this meta-analysis, you can tell that the average of the studies was basically tilting towards favoring the omega-3 intake. So you can tell all of these studies and where they average out. And if you can tell the meta-analysis, the average of all the studies does support the idea that omega-3s are protective against depression and they decrease depression risk. That's what we can see by interpreting this. And it's also the conclusion from the meta-analysis. Although I'll argue that in the meta-analysis, they saw the benefits from EPA. So make sure that your supplement has both, which usually they do. But yeah, it decreases depression risk and it makes your skin clear by reducing acne. And so if you like clear skin, if you like not being depressed, omega-3 is not the only solution, but it's one of many that you can stack and is going to help you with those problems. If you like solutions like that, and also if you're curious about which brands I recommend when it comes to omega-3s, then you can join the school community. And if you care about optimizing your health, I also recommend joining because that's my main focus on there. And yeah, I tell you which brands to buy. I tell you which supplements I recommend, omega-3 being one of them. And if you want to get over 100% of all the RDIs, of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and have healthy androgen level and androgen balance, then you can join Skool community. Because I'm pretty obsessed with health. So I try to share what I eat in a day pretty often. I share what I supplement, what I recommend, what are the best brands, including what is the best brand of omega-3s. Click the link in the pinned comment if you want to join. I think it's a pretty good deal. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.